What's up, everybody? This is FPSticks bringing you another 3 matches in the Ferocious Cup against my ultra friend Kundag. You can see my team on the left there, running Skuntank, Nidoqueen, Alolan Ninetales, Vaporeon, Umbreon, and Minun. And then his team on the right, pretty similar to mine, running Skuntank, Nidoqueen, Lanoon, Lairon, Minun, and Bibarel. In his first match, I'm leading Umbreon because I see that he doesn't have a Charm user on his team. So this Skuntank that he has is really his best counter to my Umbreon. So just going to kind of play out this match. These Sludge Bombs from Skuntank are definitely going to add up over time. But I don't normally like to shield the first charge move in case they're trying to bait me with a crunch. I make my safe switch into Vaporeon. And since I've built up this amount of energy, this Lanoon is not going to be as good of a counter to Vaporeon. I'm going to be able to throw a decent amount of Aqua Tails here, and this is definitely going to, force that shield. And I'm already at my second Aqua Tail here. Lanoon is not super bulky, so these Aqua Tails do a decent amount of damage there. These Grass Knots are definitely going to pretty much one-shot me. So I believe I commit a shield here, because I know I can get to another Aqua Tail. So continuing to Water Gun it down, get to my Aqua Tail here. I've really been liking Vaporeon as my water user for this cup. Haven't tried out a Bibarel too much, but I like that Vaporeon can get to those Aqua Tails pretty fast. There's that Grass Knot, ends up taking out my Vaporeon. At this point, he's down both shields, and this is a position I really like to be in. My Nidoqueen can come in here and farm this down. This Grass Knot's only going to be doing neutral damage, so not too worried. He switches into his Bibarel. Now, if I had charge TMs at this point in time, I'd be able to have Earthquake on my Nidoqueen, and that would have been a much better situation. But swapped into Umbreon, and I'm able to throw back-to-back foul plays because I charged so much energy. Continuing to farm down here, I know he's going to get to that charge move. I end up letting this Hyper Fang go through, but Umbreon is still so tanky that I'm able to survive that. In that scenario, I could have farmed down with Snarls, but I just chose to throw the foul play. Still got 2 Pokemon remaining. I know his Lanoon is pretty much dead. So I am going to commit the shield here, burn my last shield, because that crunch would definitely knock out my Nidoqueen at that health. He brings in his Lanoon, which instantly dies and just gives me another fast move, which is great. This Earth Power is going to do a lot of damage to the Skuntank and takes it out at that health. So end up winning the first match. This match was recorded almost a week ago, so at this point in time, I'm not running Minun anymore. I feel like it's really not fun when you're stuck against a ground type user and you're not able to do anything. This cup is still such a weird feeling cup to me. It feels like the soft counter cup, where obviously you have Umbreon and then Alolan Ninetales is a hard check to that, and then you have your anti-charms as a hard check to your Charmers. But all of these flex picks like Lanoon and Skuntank are really the Pokemon that I feel like round out the team and are able to win you a lot of matches. A lot of times if you're able to make a fast switch and you get an energy advantage, you're actually able to win the matchup even against one of your counters just by having that energy advantage. This opening here, Umbreon versus Minun, Mining can actually win in the one shield scenario if you successfully land the discharge bait. Don't shield this first move. He ends up going straight for Thunderbolt, which is the right play on his part. Does a good amount of damage from Umbreon. Getting a couple more fast moves in here, and at this point I should have enough energy to throw back-to-back foul plays. I always try to get the self-piggyback whenever possible, but I did not get it there. You could see his spark damage actually went through between those two charge moves. End up getting a shield, which is great. Since he committed a shield on that last charge move, I'm going to commit one here. I know I can get to this another foul play. Good thing I shielded that too because that was a Thunderbolt, but he ends up making a really great switch into Skuntank, and this was horrible on my part. I waste all of this energy on something that's going to do hardly any damage. So I bring in my Vaporeon instantly because I do not want this Skuntank getting an energy advantage. It can really get out of control if you let it get too many fast moves before you make a switch in. Able to throw this Aqua Tail. Skuntank is not super tanky. Kind of funny, even though it's named Skuntank, really not very tanky. But thank goodness I shielded that Sludge Bomb. That would have done a lot of damage. I'm going to try to just fast move this Skuntank down, and I'm able to get it. He was probably fairly close to a crunch there, so cutting it close. That Minun comes back in, and I want to make sure that this thing does not get off a charge move before I was able to throw that Aqua Tail, so I just went straight for it. I get the last shield, which is awesome. I was so close to getting my next Aqua Tail in there, but Kundag is really good at counting fast moves. So throws the discharge that takes me out. But again, he's got no shields, and I love this scenario because I can bring in my Nidoqueen. Nothing that Minun throws at me is going to do hardly any damage because I have immunity tier resistance to electric type moves. There's Epibarrel again. Again, if I had Earthquake in this scenario, I would be in a much better position. Nidoqueen is great in the closing scenario when shields are down. Bring back in my Umbreon, trying to get to that foul play, but he's able to get to his charge move right before me. It's a Surf, and I actually end up surviving this. Again, Umbreon is ridiculous. I get to my foul play. It's going to do a nice chunk of damage to the Bibarel. Ends up taking it out, and he's got that Minun in the back, but this is definitely GG's. Nidoqueen just comes in and takes the victory in that second match. Something else that's kind of interesting about his team is that he's not running Umbreon or a pure Dark type for that matter. He's not running Umbreon, he's not running Alolan Raticate. So I feel like the value of my Alolan Ninetales is a lot less. So I have not been bringing it in these matchups, especially because of that Lairon and his Nidoqueen and his Skuntank. He's pretty much got 3 anti-Charmers in there, which is interesting because he doesn't have Umbreon or Alolan Raticate. So he's really discouraging Charm users, even though Charm users don't serve a real purpose against his team of 6. Bibarel is interesting. That Hyper Fang damage is pretty amazing with the stab on it. But I'm just rolling with my Legacy Vaporeon. It has pretty crappy PvP IVs, unfortunately, but I'm still rolling with it. I like the spamminess of Aqua Tail. So I lead Umbreon again because it is the safest choice against his team since he does not have a Charm user. And we've seen this matchup before. Skuntank is it's a pretty soft counter to Umbreon, but if you can land those Sludge Bombs, you're going to be doing some good damage. I go straight for the last resort, not trying to bait at all. And then I make my fast switch into my own Skuntank. I was trying to catch a charge move there, but it didn't work out. Now, Lanoon against Skuntank, Lanoon is only able to win this if you land the dig, which takes so much energy to get there. So I really don't consider this a good matchup for Lanoon at all, especially since I was able to switch in and get a couple fast moves before he was even able to get there. At this point, he charged up so much energy, I knew this was going to be a dig, and I can just fast move this Lanoon down, build up a ridiculous amount of energy at this point. I'm pretty sure I'm capped at 100 energy right now. I know he's got his Scun Tank still. He brings it back in. In this scenario, I think Sludge Bomb is the more energy efficient move, but I'm just trying to burn shields at this point, which I actually get that shield. He's still got one shield left, so I'm just going straight Crunch again. It's the slightly cheaper move, but I think slightly less energy advantage in this scenario. It goes through even with the resisted damage. Does a good amount of damage there. At this point, I just let this Crunch go through. Just doing some fast moves here. I cause him to burn all of his energy on his Scun Tank, which is really great. Just letting my skunk go down. He's still got a shield. Ideally, I would love if he had both of his shields gone now, and then I could bring in my Nidoqueen. But I bring in Nidoqueen anyways. There's that barrel switch in again. We've seen that matchup many times. Luckily, I still have a fairly healthy Umbreon, and this is going to be great for me. Umbreon wins this scenario. The Hyper Fang damage from Barrel on my Umbreon does a good chunk. You can see there, he's so good at counting fast moves. I was one turn away from getting off another foul play, and that's when he throws his charge move. So he's definitely got the counting down, at least on this Umbreon matchup. He threw the Surf, drew my last shield, goes for the Surf again, chunking away. He still has one shield left. I'm assuming he is going to use it on this charge move right here. Yep, there it is. Burn the last shield, and I know that I'm able to get to this foul play before he can get to another Surf. So really good for me. This is going to take it out. I still got my Nidoqueen. So I just switch it in right away, even though this game is over. Nidoqueen would have been able to survive a Crunch or a Sludge Bomb at that health. So those were the 3 matches right there. I'm still getting a feel for this cup. I have a couple more videos that are going to be coming out, but I have since switched out my Minun for a Lanoon, a little bit more flexible of a pick. If you like this video, make sure to like and comment and subscribe. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you later.